no, she's performing there. And he said, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by performing? And she said, well, you remember when your sister used to sing around the house and everything? She says, well, she's a singer. She's really a singer, and she's performing with James Brown. And he was just like, oh my God, he could not believe it.
And I stepped out on faith and I gave my notice. And I'm crying, y'all, because I gave my heart and my soul on that job. Because that was my passion. And sometimes our passion is really not our calling. It's just a passion.
When they say when it rains, it pours. It poured, but I didn't realize that the pour was on purpose. The pour was actually moving stuff out the way, moving people out of my path that didn't belong in my circle anymore.
Jesus loves me, for the Bible tells me so. And he looked at me, he was like, this little girl, how old is she? He said, this little girl can sing. Look, this little girl can sing. Yeah.
This is your girl, Minister Nikita Davis, the proud CEO and founder of Jesus Coffee and Prayer Christian Publishing House, the #1 Christian publishing house in the land. And I am so excited. As you all know, we've had this amazing series called Success Leaves Clues. We have been interviewing phenomenal women from all over the globe who are moving, they're shaking, they're making an impact in the earth. And today I've got a treat for you. I know I say it every day, but I really have a treat for you. I've got the beautiful, the talented Martha Hyde, aka the goddess of soul, y'all, in the building. Martha Queen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Nikita? It's very nice to speak with you today and join you on this beautiful occasion. I'm just very happy to be here.
Yes. Well, yes. I am blessed and highly favored. I'm even better now that I see your beautiful, radiant smile. Look at that smile, y'all. Come on. That's how you know that's success. That's success. So I'm so excited to have you here. You know, I could go literally like a laundry list of all your accolades and all the things that you have done in the earth thus far. But, you know, old school would say, hear it from the horse's mouth. So introduce yourself to the beautiful queens who are literally watching you from all over the world. Tell them a little bit about you, who you are, what you do.
Okay. Well, my birth name is Mary Martha Harvin. I don't think a lot of people know that, but that's my born name. And Martha Hyde is my stage name. And it was given to me by the godfather of soul, Mr. James Brown. He just felt that he couldn't introduce my name as Martha Harvin. That's not a good name for the stage. So he came up with Martha Hyde. First of all, I just like to say that I'm a child of God, and I'm very, very blessed and thankful to still be here to continue my journey in life. I am a mother. I have a daughter that's in the Army. She's her name is Major Star L. Stewart. And I'm very proud. I just wanted to mention her name and let her know. I think that she's listening, and I just wanted to say hi, Star. Also, I am a grandmother. I'm a grandmother of 6, and I am a great-grandmother of 6, and 1 on the way.
What?
And I'm very, I'm very proud to say that. And I have been blessed. God has given me a gift that I was able to make my living, and I'm with a beautiful, I feel like a great voice, and I have been making my living for I guess I've been in the business for about 57 years, and I've been singing all over the world, and performing different places and meeting a lot of people. Also, I was given the gift of being able to draw and paint. I love painting. I love artwork, and I'm still doing all of this at the time. Right now, I'm just really proud to say that I've had 6 albums to be released within the last. Well, my first album was in 1979. And then 9 years later, I was able to start recording again. So altogether, I have 6 albums that has been released. And I am an author. I have written a book. The title is He's a Funny Cat, Miss Hyde. And that's about my life working with the Godfather of Soul, Mr. James Brown. I was with him for 32 years, and I was his hairstylist. I was the overseer of the singers and sometimes the dancers, and I was the payroll master. So I wore many hats when I was out there with him. It was quite an experience, and also I'm a lyricist. I write write music. I have recorded great albums and everything. I have lived in France for 6 years. I lived in France for 6 years. I have lived in Spain for the past 3 years, and just been traveling all over the world and enjoying meeting other people, other cultures, working with different bands around the country and everything. And thank God that I'm still able to do this. And I have a new project coming up. I will have a radio show starting in October. Yes, in October the 6th. It's High Time. It's High Time, and that will come on studiow.buzz.com. So I just try to kind of stay busy. I've been busy doing a lot of things. I've had several magazine articles to come out, and still just trying to keep my face in the place and continue to work and continue to try to do other things to help other people, So it's been a busy time for me, and I'm enjoying every bit of it.
Wow, Queen, that is just like, we can just, first of all, let's say you said keeping your face busy. Well, it's a beautiful face, first of all, let's say that. I mean, did y'all see this? This Queen said the baby girl and 6 grandkids and 6 great grand, like, what? Did y'all see her face? Okay, that's amazing. Hashtag goals. Okay. Hashtag goals. So yes, you are one busy, busy queen bee, and I love it. You just have had the opportunity to really live out your dreams, your God-sized dreams. And that's so important to know that he's at the foundation, and look how he's blessed you and your legacy. And that is just absolutely amazing. And stayed in France for 6 years. I love Paris. I had the opportunity to go a few years back, and I was supposed to go this year, but a little thing called COVID-19 came around the corner.
Yes.
So I did not, I had to put that a rain check on that, but that's beautiful in Spain as well. Well, fantastic. Well, what I hear you to say is you're creative. God he has made you a visionary. He's giving you a vessel and a tool to bless other people through your artistic ability, because music is poetry in motion, and so you get to do that. So talk to us a little bit about, when we think about the clues, because this is Success Leaves Clues. When did you first realize as a child, or in your early teens or early 20s, when did you first realize, one, that God had given you this gift, and then 2, when did you really own it? Because I feel like, especially in the body of Christ, it's one thing to know, and then it's one thing to own it. And so we want to teach the queens how to know it, identify it, that you got the gift, and how to own it. When did you realize that for you, for your music?
Well, it was during my teen years that I really owned knowing that I would like to become a singer, and became the singer that I wished to be. But I know when I was very young, I used to run around the house and at least I thought I was singing. I would la 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 all around the house and sing, just little high notes and up and down and everything like that. And my brothers, I had 3 brothers, and they used to tell my mother, "Will you please tell her to stop all of that noise?" And my mother said, "She's not making noise, she's singing." And I looked at my mom and I said, "Yeah, that's right, I'm singing." So it was that had given me permission to continue to do what I was doing, singing around the house. And the only thing my brothers would do would just hold their ears and like, oh my gosh. But when I turned, I think I was like 15, 16 years old when I decided that, I felt that I had a voice and I wanted to do something about it. I wanted to try, at least try, so being in high school, I met 3 other young ladies that we used to run around together, and we just loved the fact of singing. They would give our school would give hops, like sock hops. That's what they called it back in the day. And we used to go to the sock hops after school and listen to the groups and everyone was singing. And I just got this urge that I really wanted to be a part of that. So my 3 friends and I, sat and talked about it and said we decided to start a group of our own. And we started singing and rehearsing and really got serious into it, And there was a place. I was raised in Washington D.C. I need to say that. So we found a place near our home where we could go and rehearse in these studio rooms that they had and in the certain buildings and everything. So we met other musicians and singers there, and this gentleman peeked his head in the room where we were rehearsing one day and said hello and asked what was the name of our group, and he just admired the way that we were singing. So we talked with him, and he wanted to become our manager, and he did. And through that, we started rehearsing at other places. He introduced us to Bo Diddley. And Bo Diddley, we met him and we started rehearsing at his place because he had a studio in his home. So we met him and we started rehearsing there, and he sort of like took a liking to us and decided that he wanted to kind of manage us and help us to get ahead also. At that point, I met some young ladies, another group that was going to the same school that I was. Their names were the 4 Jewels. And I ended up talking with them, and to make a long story short, I ended up joining that particular group, became one of them because one of the girls left, so they still wanted to keep the name the 4 Jewels. And I joined them and did some recordings with them. That is really at the point, and I was about 16. I was around 16 then. And that's when I really realized, okay, this is really what I want to do. I've gotten this far, and it seems like it kept on moving forward, getting better and everything. And that's when I decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do for a living.
Wow. I can imagine, that sounds so exciting. It sounds like the classic dream, right? We wanted our own group. You've heard it in so many stories. I guess it's like, almost like the rites of passage. We started our own group and somebody heard us. But, and the next thing you know, I was touring around the world,
And I actually, when I was younger, I actually sang. Of course, I sang in church in the choir, the children's choir, and everything. So that was a beautiful thing for me too, because I loved hearing the harmony, hearing the voices and everything, and how we sounded together. It was just always a beautiful thing to me to hear harmony, in my younger days. And so I guess it was just really in me, and God's gift was there, and I finally I recognized it, but I just had no idea that I would be in the years to come, as I got older, that I would actually be out traveling and singing with one of the biggest names in show business. That was just amazing to me. It was when I joined him, it was still very, it was
Yo, for
crazy.
real. Yeah. Like you're just like, wait a minute. Let
Like,
me.
yeah, is this really
Okay,
happening?
this is me. This is me. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
here. Hello. This is not a dream. I
yeah.
can only imagine. That is so fantastic. Isn't it beautiful? You know, I had an opportunity to speak with another queen. I'm so blessed to be able to connect with women all over the world, amazing women such as yourselves. And I was just speaking with a woman. And I said, it's so great. Like when you think about your dreams, many times God will give us dreams from our youth, but it's
Oh,
up to us to identify. You know, I run into so many women and they're not sure, what should I do? What should I be? What should I, and it's like, I tell them, go back, think back to the dreams of your youth. What was that God put in your heart when you were a kid? Right. In
yeah.
some way, a lot of times along the way, people get lost in the sauce. Somebody tells them they can't do it. What if you, and I know you love your brothers, but what if you would have took what they said, oh gosh, we don't want to hear you, and you would have internalized that and said, oh, I can't sing,
Yeah.
and just zipped it up, but you didn't, And so even as adults, as we get older, sometimes, adults aren't always the nicest, but you can't worry about other people. It's like, what did God tell you? What did he give you,
Exactly, exactly. And that's a thing, because even when I got older and I started traveling on the road, my oldest brother had no idea that I was involved in music as much as I was, because he called home one day. He went into the army, and he called one day, and my mother told him, she said, your sister is at the Howard Theater tonight, and that's in Washington, D.C. And he said, oh, okay, but she goes to the Howard Theater all the time to see the shows there. And she said, no, 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 she's performing there. And he said, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by performing? And she said, well, you remember when your sister used to sing around the house and everything? She says, well, she's a singer. She's really a singer, and she's performing with James Brown. And he was just like, oh my God, he
Or
just could not believe it. Yeah, he was in awe. And the beautiful thing about it is that all of my brothers and my parents were very, very supportive to me,
yes.
as I grew up. And speaking of dreams and everything, I wrote one of my albums called It's High Time. I wrote most of the songs, maybe except for two or three, but all of my songs, all of my lyrics was given to me through my dreams. And I always felt that was such a blessing. And I'm sure I'm like most singers or musicians or something. If you dream about something, you usually keep a pad and pencil beside the bed, And a lot of times I immediately wake up and I write what I heard, or either I get my phone and I'll hum in it. And long time ago, there were like little cassette tapes, but you punch and you sing what you hear. I could even I imagine myself on stage at times, But I always felt that this is God's way of telling me, and giving me the ideas and the dreams, And I just felt like those things that I dreamt about and everything has come true. God is awesome.
He
He's
is
really
so
awesome.
awesome. God is so good.
Very
And
awesome.
I love what you said, thinking about the theme of the success leaves clues. Queens, I hope you picked up that tip. I know she's telling us some amazing stories and what God has done for her, but she gave a really tangible clue. She said she kept a notepad, pen, and paper near her bed. And many visionaries are like that. I do the same thing. I'm a notebook journal fanatic. Literally in my office now, I'm looking at literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 journals right now spread out, and there's probably one on the floor.
Exactly.
So with your dreams, and like you said, you will hum it into your phone. Those are tools and outlets when God wants to speak to you, and he speaks to us all differently.
Yeah.
But don't just dismiss the dream you had. Maybe it's not the whole thing, if there was a dragon or something like that, but maybe there was one piece, in there that he's given to you through that dream, but it's up to you to activate that. So I love that clue and that being a success for you. So talk to the beautiful queens about, like you said, you're a world traveler all over the world, and people adore you and love your music and what you've done and the contribution you've added, not just to music, but music is speaking to the heart of people. You know, when you think about some of your most memorable moments, I know myself and most people, they can attach it to a song, normally a movie, something is etched in their brain, and if they hear that song, or if they see that movie, or if they see those words, it brings them all the way back. It's nostalgia. So it's beautiful what you do. Talk to them about being a world traveler, right? You've met all different walks of life and all different types of people. How has being a world traveler shaped the way you see people, the way you view the world, and your talents?
Well, I love the fact that I was able to travel as much as I did. Like I said, I've been in the music business for 50 some years, and it's really been a blessing because traveling and meeting other cultures, being involved with other cultures and meeting other people, all walks of life and everything. I think it's a blessing too, because you get to know that everyone is not alike, but but they're people, and everyone wants to. I love the fact of getting to know how Japanese people live, how Spanish people live, how their music involves and evolves around ours, and what they get out of our music, and what I appreciate about their music. So it's like that with the Germans and French people. It's just a wonderful thing to be involved with. I met people, and I have been able to visit people's homes, and in different countries, and it's really exciting to know that they enjoy our music as much as they do. Because I've met people that could tell me more about our music, American music, and then I didn't even know that they would know that much. I had no idea that they would be so much involved with our music. But they also, I had a lot of friends in Spain that wanted to actually sing with me, and we combined our music, with their music, which is flamenco. That's a very popular music, flamenco, and we were able to kind of join together and work that the soul music into the flamenco. And I think that it's we didn't release anything, but just the fact of wanting to do this and wanting to involve our music with theirs, it's a very, very pleasant thing. It was very just a wonderful thing to try and do, to mix the musics together and everything. But I find Europeans, just all over the world, I find people to be very kind and very acceptable, to our music and listening, and they enjoy our music, listening and learning and being a part of it. The musicians that I've worked with me in different countries, I admire them because they are energetic and they want to know and want to learn the music. I always feel like, I've told a lot of band members in Japan and France and Germany that they have a lot of soul. And I feel that they have soul because it's not that Americans are the only ones that have soul. It's how they feel inside, and how passionate they are about their music. And I feel that if they're good musicians and they care about what they're doing, I think they show it very soulful by playing the best that they can play and the best that they can be, when it comes to doing things together.
I love it. Everybody has access to soul. If you're passionate about what you do, then guess what? You've got soul,
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
and it's great how you all can cross pollinate, right? And that's how you
Mhm.
blend, and it's this melting pot, and you get to know the heart of people. Sometimes
Yes,
coming from just one side of the track, so to speak, you can have an unfair, unbiased opinion of other people. But when you travel, you're
right.
able to find out, really the heart of people, and you can form
Yes,
your own opinions, not based
yes,
off of somebody else's one
that's right.
isolated experience. And now more than ever, especially with, let's just be real, at least in the US for sure, all the racial division and tension and all of that. So I
Mhm.
asked that question because I want the world to know, first of all, God is love. And it doesn't
Yes,
matter where you are, whether you're in the US or you're in Japan or you're in France or Germany or South Africa, wherever you are, God is love and people are people. I say that a lot too. And so you said that
exactly.
earlier. And look for the good. Look for the good.
Exactly. Look for the love that they have, and they share, because God is within us, and you have to let your light shine from within, to get to know people, and that people are human, and everyone is not trying uh, to be rude or unkind or anything like that, so it was a pleasure to meet a lot of people, to meet all different nationalities and everything. I'm very, very happy that I spent the amount of time that I did in France, um, and in Spain. I stayed there for 3 years in Spain, 6 years in France. So it was just a beautiful thing. And I have traveled to Greece, and just everywhere. And I have met people that I just really have a beautiful heart, and invited me to their homes and everything. And I really enjoyed it.
That's beautiful. I love it, Queen. I love it. So shifting gears just a little bit. So I've got just a couple more questions, and I definitely want to round it up with you giving the Queens a final clue to success and letting them know about any upcoming projects and how they can reach you. But two questions that I have. One, we know that you were with the Godfather of Soul, right? So can you name just one memorable moment, if you can think of maybe the most exciting or most memorable moment that you had with him or with the group or while on tour with the band?
Yes. Well, I will never ever forget performing with Mr. Brown at the Madison Square Garden. That was just a beautiful time for me, because Mr. Brown had me on a pedestal, and we had the album Payback. The album Payback was out, and the reason why he had me on the pedestal, and I was just kind of like hovering over the band and everybody, just way up in the air, and I was like so excited, and kind of a little afraid too, because I had never been on a pedestal and up that high before over the band. But the reason was because the song, the Payback, that Mr. Brown had recorded, I am the first voice that you hear when the music starts, and so it's like a high C note that I hit at the beginning of the song. And so standing on that pedestal, and when the music started and I sang that note, it sounded to me like it just went all the way around in the Madison Square Garden. You could only just hear my voice, and I was like, oh my gosh, this has never happened before. So I was so excited, and that was just one of the best times of my career, to do that. And one other time when we played the halftime for the Super Bowl, that was in New Orleans. We played the Super Bowl, and I think that it was, I might be wrong, I can't remember the exact year, but I think it was 1996 yeah, 1996, I think it was, that we played halftime for the Super Bowl. And having a rehearsal before the show, the day before the show, it was okay because no one was in the bleachers or anything like that. But the day that we performed and walking out there on that field and just seeing, what is it, 20,000 or 30, I don't know how many.
Billion people. It felt like,
it was,
anyway.
I felt like a little ant, and I could not believe this. I was so amazed because I'm not really a football fan. So I've never really been, the only football games I've ever been to was in high school. So I never have been into such a huge place, where so many people would be and everything. So that was one of my most wonderful experiences of being with Mr. Brown, is to play those two places. And of course, the Radio City Music Hall.
Okay, so shout out Radio City Music Hall in case they're listening. They want you to come back. But that is beautiful. I can only imagine. I mean, in those places, Madison Square Garden, which everybody knows, anybody who has an inkling of an idea, if they're an artist, they want to perform there, and you got to be there with Mr. Brown, James Brown, and then to be the first voice. I mean, I envision that because I too am a visionary, so I literally can see you up high, voice just shining out, and it just reverberating all over, and you're just like, this is so real. Like, somebody pinched me. Is this me? Am I in heaven? That is beautiful. I love that. And then, like you said, for the Super Bowl, the halftime, that is amazing. So that is just,
it was great.
I'm so happy for you, and you shared that perfectly. Queens, I hope you're getting excited. If you're taking anything from this, I pray that you're taking that your dreams matter. I hope that you're taking that, hard work and perseverance pays off, and that even the sky, I tell my queens and my clients that I work with, even the sky is no limit. When you are seeking Christ and he's at the helm of your life, I mean, your gifts will make room for you, your talents will make room for you, and you can have a beautiful life. I pray that you're already doing that, but certainly, Miss High, you are a glowing example.
Thank you.
Of that. And so the last question that I'll ask you, Queen, before we get into what other upcoming projects you've got that you can share, because I know some things are privy, and you being able to tell them how they can reach you. 2020, like I said, has been a shift for everyone. What have you done to stay relevant? I know you spoke a little bit about this at the beginning, but what have you done to stay relevant, and what tip or strategy would you give to another queen, whether she's a singer or not, just a goal-getter, business-oriented woman? What kind of tip would you give her to make that shift in this season so she can be all that God has called her to be?
Yes. I've been, since this pandemic has happened, I just didn't sit around. I decided to find other things to do, and I've met people since I've been here that's in my life now that are go-getters as well. They are very energetic and wanting to do things, and I wanted to be a part. I've thought about other people too, being in this situation of not working and everything. So I'm always trying to figure out what can I do to help others, as well as keeping myself busy. And so what I've been doing, I started a shop online to sell different articles and my paintings and my book online, just to kind of keep busy and doing things. I know that I just didn't want to sit down. And I'm also writing another book. I'm writing a book with a young lady by the name of Yamaja Jubilee. Her and I are getting together to write a book together, and so I'm keeping myself busy as far as that is concerned. And I'd like to. I'm keeping myself. How shall I say it? I like to keep my face out there to let people know that I'm still in the music business. I'm still doing things to stay busy and to stay involved in the music business, as well as just to starting other projects, as I don't know if I said it or not, but I do have a radio show yes, I did say that. I do have a radio show that's coming up in October. And I just feel like anyone that's in the music business, stay busy. I practice a lot. I keep in contact with other singers and musicians and everything like that to see if maybe we can start a project or do a project together and everything. I think that's good for the soul to stay involved and letting people know that you're still in the business and you haven't given up. And I don't think that anyone should give up as far as anything is concerned. And I feel that you should continue to pray and God will guide you. He will show you the way. He will give you what you need to do whatever ideas that you have. It can happen. You just have to keep the faith and just stay involved with whatever you're doing. And I think that would get you over and continue to be happy and continue to being on this journey of life. It's a blessing that we can still do things virtually online and still have your music. I've been in several different videos, singing videos, and it's beautiful. It's lovely. We don't know what the new norm is going to be, but you still can be involved in doing things that you love. Just continue to do it.
I love that. What I hear you to say is stay busy and stay consistent, right?
Yes,
This is not
absolutely.
the time to dry up and say, oh, well, let me just shell up until this passes. Well, we don't know what until this passes looks
That's
like,
right.
right?
We don't.
So, the best thing that you can do really for your mind, body, and soul is to keep going. I think it was, and I may be phrasing this incorrectly, but I believe it was Winston Churchill that said, if you're going through hell, keep moving. What that means is, what you're going to do, you're going to stay there and burn up. You need to keep going so you can get through.
Yeah, that's just like going through a storm. If you just say that you're driving, you're on the highway and there's a storm. And I heard someone say this, that driving down the highway and there's a storm starts, and instead of you stopping and sitting on the side of the road, what you should do is you should keep going through that storm, and eventually the storm will pass you by or pass on. You go through that storm and you can look back and say, well, I got through that storm. Well, that's the same way it is in life. There you have storms in your life and everything, but do you sit down or do you continue to try and get out of that storm? And that's what you should do. You should always move forward, because sitting back and doing nothing, that storm could hover over you for days and days, and you still won't be getting anywhere. But if you continue to move on, move out of that storm and continue to move forward,
So good, Queen. And I've literally had that happen. I remember just quickly, my husband and I think we were coming through the mountains, wherever we were, and it was it was raining, literally cats and dogs, like literally you couldn't see. And so for a second we did pull over because we literally could not see, but then after a few minutes, it's like, man, this is not letting up. So we said we went super slow, blinking, flashing, all the flashers on. And then literally within 5 minutes, where you look back, like you said, and you could see the cloud, you could see the rain, but right here, it's clear. It's like we literally were under the storm, and had we continue, which we quickly caught on, it was gone. Perfect example. I love that. That is beautiful. Well, Queen, it has absolutely been a pleasure. I could definitely see a part 2 of this, ladies. Okay. Of this taking place. You are a jewel and just a wealth of knowledge and information, and just so much success, and just continued success to you. I absolutely love it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Queen. Let them know. I know you said the radio. Is there anything else that they need to be on the lookout for in November or December or going into January that you're privy to share? If you can share that, fantastic. And then just let them know how they can stay in contact with you.
Okay. Well, always, I would love to let everyone know that you still can purchase my albums. You can find my albums on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon. You just go to these different links and put it right in Martha High, and it will all of my songs or albums will come up. And also my book. My book is entitled He's a Funny Cat, Miss High, and my 32 years with the Godfather of Soul. You can go on Amazon or createspace.com and put in the title, He's a Funny Cat, Miss High. And of course, written by Martha High, and you can purchase the books there. Also, as I said before, I have a shop online with eBay. You go to ebay.com, and it's called Martha's Shop In. So you can check that out and see if it's something there that you might like to purchase or something like that. I have some beautiful things. I am working on another book, as I said before, so we're going to keep that under the line right now, because we haven't even chose a name for it, but we're excited about it, and I think that's going to happen within maybe at least another 4 or 5 months. It should be out. And my album that I have out now is called Nothing's Going Wrong. And that kind of got a little lost when the pandemic happened, because just everything just stopped. But we are still happy about the album, because we are planning to re-release the album with some more new songs. So that will be happening hopefully by the first of the year. That should be coming out. And we're also looking forward to going back to work, hopefully next year. We don't know for sure, but we're just going to wait on God. I'm just going to wait on him, and I'm sure he's going to straighten things out here where other things can happen. But I'm very happy to say that my radio show, again, is called It's High Time, and you can go to the link studiowbuzz.com, and that would let you in to tune into our new radio show. And we will have a special guest that we will be interviewing, and new music, old school music, different topics that will be interesting. I hope that you will join us and have a great time in listening.
Oh, that sounds so fantastic. Maybe I can find a way on that show one day.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one thing that I'm really excited about, that that there will be when I say ordinary people, I'm not saying that they're ordinary, because they're not. They're people that I think that has done so much for their community, and in helping people, and I would like for everyone to know that there are ordinary people that do things to help one another. It's not just celebrities and the big names or anything like that. It's just some regular people that do phenomenal things for others, and I'd like to introduce them and have a conversation with them to find out, what inspired them to help others and different things like that. So we'll have people like that as well that we will interview.
Well, that's fantastic. I love that, because, at the end of the day, we're all ordinary people. We just serve an extraordinary God, and he gives us
Absolutely. Yes.
platforms, right? You know, different gifts and talents. So I love that. So I'll definitely be chiming in on that piece right there. So don't you worry, Queen. Well, I love it. So they can get with you for your music, your book, your radio, upcoming book projects, and just the world doesn't stop, not for Martha High. So I love that, Queen. Well, I just want you to continue to glow and grow and just do amazing things. I definitely speak blessings over your life, and it's been an honor and a privilege to have you here with us for Success Leaves Clues. Absolutely.
Well, it's been a blessing for me. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I want to say this last thing before we leave. I'm asking everyone to please vote. Please vote. We don't have many days left, but please, you know, it's so very important, not only for us now, but also the future. You know, we have to think about the future of our children and everything. And it's so, so very important for us to vote. So I'll leave that with you.
That's fantastic, Queen. I love it. Well, look, Queens, this is your girl, Minister Nikita Davis, the proud CEO and founder of Jesus Coffee and Prayer Christian Publishing House, the #1 Christian publishing house in the land. And you have just watched a phenomenal episode of Success Leaves Clues with the one, the only Martha High, aka the Goddess of Soul. And it's been an absolute pleasure. All her links will be below, so please patronize her, connect with her, and see if you can get something going on, because after all, success leaves clues. Until I see you next time, be well and be good to each other. Bye.
Bye-bye.